Oh, yeah. How good is that?
Every time Rick promotes his business, you've got to take a shot.
No, we want people to last long 20 minutes. All right, let's go around the ground. We'll start with Bills. We'll go straight down underneath. How are you, buddy?
Hey. How are we all? Merry season greetings.
Now, you missed our last Monday, didn't you?
I did. I was travelling Queensland to Canberra, so I took the kids in the caravan and went down south for a week.
You would have liked it too, because we talked all about Christmas sets, and we know you've got a big collection of those.
Yeah, I got a few, not as big as some, but yeah, we do have a few Christmas things.
Says the bloke whose lounge room's literally loaded with sets.
Got a few things.
Yeah. Andrew, how are you? How you been, mate? Christmas and all that, all going good?
Yeah, all good. Had a bit of a build yesterday. Built the Sesame Street, so that was a bit of fun. It was nice not to build in a rush for a blog and just do it for the fun of it yesterday.
All right, and then obviously the man we've been promoting all afternoon and all night, and he's been in pretty much every stream we've had this year. Bit of a cheeky smart ass to say the least, but still a good bloke. Rick, welcome to the stream, mate.
Hey guys, I'm joking. Hey guys, how you doing?
Shot Bills.
I'm sorry I didn't put makeup on my head today. It's just really reflective, and I do apologise. But when you're bald, you can't do much about it.
You get a direct light right above you, huh?
It's like bright lights.
I'm just Jesus right now. Perfect.
Lego Jesus.
Quick look in the chat. Brickles, hello, Joe. How are you, buddy? Dan, Mr. Brick Bracket himself. How are you, champion? And of course, our very wealthy bricklinker, Mr. Parko. How are you, champion?
Yeah, mate. Have you seen his warehouse? It's bigger than mine, man. Jesus, he's got money, gold, everything out the back now.
We got a quick tour, but then I watched whose stream did we watch the other day? Oh, it was Brent's. His garage, his setup looks like a dead set bricklink shop, like perfectly.
Brent Waller.
Yeah.
Well, Brent Waller's got Lego Ideas money, mate. So he can
yeah.
afford to have a pretty nice setup with that couple of $1 million he made off Ecto 1.
Yeah, not to mention the Seinfeld and whatever else is about to come out.
Pretty sure he stole that idea off Andrew, because I'm pretty sure Cheap Jokes shared some Seinfeld stuff a few years back with a little clip, so maybe he stole that idea off Andrew.
Well,
I heard Andrew borrowed that set off someone else we know that wears red jackets.
yeah, well, he put it on Lego Ideas and it got declined before it even made it to the voting stage. So,
really?
They obviously changed their rules or changed their mind since.
Well, are we talking about someone that's got like a dodgy salad?
Something like that. Chat, Amanda, Maddie, how are you? So a bit of a, I guess a fun fact that no one knew. Rick was my first person, I guess, contacted me. He flew me down to Melbourne. We did the in-store thing with a couple of other guys, and that was the first time I met you too, Andrew.
Yeah, that's right.
So big shout out.
Did everybody put this on public record? I'm the reason why you have to suffer through seeing Bilsy at every Lego event. I do apologize now. I know, I'm sorry, but it had to be done.
Yeah, his big break wasn't Lego Masters. It was an appearance at Rick James Bricks.
Mate,
well, those 3,000 people would actually agree with you. Jesus.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Actually, Rick's #1 fans in the chat, I see.
Hey, Mr. Pinto. Isn't that guy that... That's a guy that won Season 2 Lego Masters, right?
No, you're thinking of... oh, no, you said Season 2. Never mind.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you said Season 1, I was going to correct you and say, no, that was Cade. Henry.
Oh, yeah, but isn't Cade the one that dresses like a single white female? Oh, anyway.
And Henry was his brick pit runner. That's the only reason. That's the only reason he won because he could run quicker than I could. That's just the end of the story.
I have to say, Rick's pulling in all the big names tonight. This is good.
Mate, we are on fire tonight. We've got to, and it's the end of the year show, so it's worth bringing the big names and just letting loose and going for gold. So for those that don't know, Rick does own pretty much. I'd say you'd be the biggest Lego reseller website shop wise in Australia.
Nah, man, I sell a product called Mega Blocks. It clicks together okay, but you just got to use a little bit glue, but we're good.
So he's the biggest glue reseller in Australia.
Let's go with that. If that helps you sleep, that's fine.
So if you haven't gone to I'm Rick James Bricks, or you haven't heard of him, which I guarantee you most definitely would have, he is the man behind it. But especially, I know you're very good with social media and you have been for years, but since COVID, man, you become almost your own influencer. Dead set. You're like daily videos, daily pumping yourself, mate.
Dude, COVID was like poor Caroline. Obviously, she's working right now, but COVID in itself was another beast, and we're extremely grateful how busy we were. But I can comfortably tell you, you cannot operate a business when you're only doing 2 hours sleep a night. It's not healthy.
Yeah, wow. It's to most, you got to think most people went, they got a bit stuck. They went on JobKeeper and all that kind of stuff through the COVID. So I guess it's good that you were up and pumping. But the downside of it is obviously because you're a bit crook. You got your autoimmune thing. You couldn't have your shop open either. So that kind of would have been a bit of a sucky blow.
Yeah, the biggest hard thing I think people don't understand. I think it's good that it's a big light in now, and people like yourself, you're doing the streaming. That's right. Joe knows what he's talking about. You've got streaming so you can connect with people. But the biggest thing that people don't realize, the best part of the job is connecting with everybody. And you've done our Lego Masters events. It's been crazy. I think the big adjustment for everybody is that you can't do those kind of things anymore for the foreseeable future. And I think that's a big change. And I think, we're all learning and we're all working together. And, Andrew does his thing and you're doing your streaming nearly every week, which you're the only person that I know that works as hard as you to do it. So you're doing all right, which is awesome. And, you cried to me today on the phone and said, please come on, I need you. And I was like, yeah, all right, just because I like you.
Got to get the guests somehow.
Well, I've got to stop using those fake names to rib on Andrew all the time. I've got to actually do it to his face for a change. I can't just keep doing it in the comments.
Drew, thanks, Rick, for all your hard work you've been putting in. Yeah, totally, man. And, even sitting back here, like most of us that are watching now, and even us three, we're obviously, we buy Lego, we go out, we hunt Lego. And I guarantee I cannot name another store or, another person that runs a store in a shop that does, I guess, get pushed in as much as our face as you in a good way. You're always there, you're always updating your stuff. Your new shop, you're promoting that daily. We're about to open. This is what, you know what I mean? So it's good that you keep people running and connected. It's not like, I'm going to open a new shop 6 months later. Here's a new shop, come give me all your money type of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. Sorry, we've got the local interesting people doing burnouts at the moment, so just ignore the background noise. But I think too, social media and Andrew, Andrew's one of the biggest Lego influencers out there. Andrew knows that if you don't push your brand, people forget, and they don't intentionally forget. It's just you need to keep the algorithm in check so people are aware that you're around.
You fade away. Now, obviously, I think when I look today, you're almost at 40,000 followers yourself. So that's
every now Instagram does a clean, so it drops and it floats. But it's not about Instagram, Bilsy. We need to get you in a bikini on TikTok doing dances, sticking Lego to yourself. You got to be like Ragsy, mate. You got to get out there. You got to stick Lego all over your body and just go for it.
Do you have TikTok?
Yeah, man. 25,000 followers, champ. Come on, get on it.
I don't even have the app.
Mate, you need to get on it, Bilsy. You want to get your face on there, you do some twerking, put a Lego minifigure on your butt. That's what gets the views, man.
I'll show them how to make a minifigure disappear.
Oh, gosh.
Mate, there's kids on that app, so maybe not. Maybe not.
But I think what is good about your Instagram is it's like instead of doing email spams, it's like that's where you get your updates on when stuff's arriving, how many you've got, and there's pure transparency about stock and everything.
Well, it's better that way because I find and you guys would be aware, the most annoying part is when you get constantly bombarded with emails, and it's super annoying because you don't want to get that every day. Well, with Instagram, if you don't want to view it, you don't have to view it. And I think that's the best part because you don't want to you don't want to alienate your audience by being too much. Because I know when I get emails, even sometimes from this certain brand here during the week, sometimes there's like 20 emails a week, and sometimes it's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Well, like back to your Instagram too. It's not that you don't put white background studio shot packages that you've got this on special for $1 cheaper this week either. Your Instagram's you. It's not your shop as a retail front. You know what I mean? Like you're the real face of you, so to speak.
Well, I think the biggest part about it is, and Andrew, when he visited the other week, we were chatting about it, is that I think too people like to have an emotional connection, and COVID's been a big driver of emotional connections. And if they feel like they can do it, and they feel like they're a part of the team, they'll get on it. Look, there's Andrew right there. There's the guy from Brickbucket. Finally got my order after 10 weeks. No, I'm only kidding. No, there's the guy from Brickbucket. But, it's all about just making it and not overly doing it. Like, I don't think you need to overly edit it. I think people see through the over edits, and I think being a bit raw is a bit better.
Yeah. It's easier too.
Wait, who are those guys? I think they were on – oh, no, they were on Mega Bloks Masters. My bad.
It's funny though, like you do scroll down your Instagram page and look, you do love yourself a bit.
Mates,
Someone
if you can't name a business after yourself, what's the point of having a business?
Go back up. There was one with 2 pictures of Rick in the same photo. How'd that happen? Above the Christmas tree.
Well, did you notice there's Caroline, my full-time wife, and there's Maddie, my part-time wife. So sometimes it's a bit of an illusion.
You need to fill in.
Or sometimes you just got to get the other guy to jump in and take photos for you.
Is this why you've grown the beard? You just need the glasses now to go.
Well, I've got to also, when you got a head shaped like mine, it looks like a potato, so you got to pretend you got a chin. So that's why you got to grow a beard so it looks like you've actually got a chin.
What's Joe say? TikTok's a great for Instagram. Oh, Jesus. And then Dan, TikTok and only. Mate.
You got to pre-read the comments, Bilsy.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe pre-read those comments, Bilsy.
Let's talk about your monstrous maxi fig. I mean, what even do they even have a name like maxi fig? They're even 6-7 times bigger than a maxi fig. What would these be? Just straight up statues or?
Yeah, they call them Lego statues. They call them. There's another word they use for them, but they call them like. It's the ones where they can touch them. They're like touch and feel or something like that. So the Nexo Night here, clay is made for kids to be touching and feeling, and that's why you have to clean him, 1, because of COVID, and 2, it was gross. But anyway.
Yeah. I'm going to put it out there. I'm just going to I'll scroll down and obviously you'll hopefully find more photos of all the ones you recently got and your older ones. You'd have to be the biggest collector in Australia now of these things, wouldn't you? Like bigger than retail stores.
Yeah, so we have, last count was 28 store displays or something like that. You have to count them for insurance purposes. The big ones are expensive, so you have to make sure there. That's my old store.
This is look how little that looks now compared to your new one.
Oh, dude, it's nuts, right? And you, Bilsy, you've been in the back room because we had lunch and stuff when you were out.
Yeah.
The stock that was in the back room is like a quarter of what's in the current store.
Yeah, that's insane.
Here we go.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Where's the new beast? You got a photo? Or is it all in videos?
Mickey? Yeah, down there. Go. Scroll down to the left in the corner. No, missed it.
The other down.
Stop there. Yep, there.
This thing's insane, man.
Mickey is so good.
This is
70,000 Lego bricks.
What's retail on just the bricks?
They'd be
the face alone, because it's flesh, is about 7K of flesh.
No
Jesus.
way.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot. These things are not cheap. So obviously I can't go into it because you sign NDAs with Brickman or whatever.
Yeah.
But so the back of Mickey, you can't really see them, but I'll send a photo later. He's actually got a tail that wraps around the back of his leg.
Yeah, right.
Huh. For no use, just to have a tail.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
Gotta do it properly.
The hot dog, and you look at some of these big statues, and it's not like you've substituted them for generic colors. You're using the hard to get colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the way it works is when you're speaking to Brickman, he always says, "Oh, this is the best colors," and he sort of talks about the big part about it is what he's got in stock and if he can build it, which is a big thing. So like there's a massive process, and when you're building big things for retail display like us, or the museum wants a piece, or I don't know, Alcyon with their Lego stores, like there's so many people involved in the design process because one, they have to be approved by Lego, and two, they got to make sure the stance is right. Like he's about 7,000 bricks. He's not very big. He's probably up to waist height. That's cheap jokes with a hot dog. It actually, I think that's the Sig Fig cheap jokes uses. I think from memory, the actual top he's wearing.
It's got the hair on the top. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
This is my
The
favorite.
face works.
This beast is my favorite. The Woody.
Oh, Woody?
Woody's amazing.
Yeah.
Woody has been through some stuff, hasn't he, Rick?
Yeah, so Woody, a lot of people would be aware, and anyone who collects Lego is aware, dark red seems to be an issue with Lego and has been for a long time. So Woody in the middle of his chest has a piece that comes out that you can like slide a pole in and you can move him and stuff, right? So I went in and got like a brick separator to try and get the piece out, and in the process I broke a dark red brick, and I was like, oh. So I kept the piece and I glued it, and you can't really see it now, but it's like I knew it was going to come because he's about 11 years old, so he was at peak dark red issues. So, you know, that was a sad day. But anyway.
It was the dark reddish brown, and there was, I think it might have been dark blue as well. There was two colors they made that was known for snapping.
Yeah, dark red was a big major issue. So dark red they use in the fire station, that breaks all the time.
Yep.
And I don't know about now, but I think it's fixed now. But dark red has always been the biggest, yeah. Anyway.
Are you allowed to tell a very summarized story on how you got the Woody story?
Yeah. So Woody was purchased before we had a store when I was just, an AFOL collector. Was purchased from a bloke in Belgium who acquires Lego statues and Lego store displays. He's not around anymore. He used to be on Bricklink, but I was looking for him the other day and it looks like he's disappeared. So, and we purchased him for it wasn't that expensive. It was $5,000 or $6,000.
That just goes to show you how big Woody is as well.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Actual life.
Yeah, he's 7 foot or something. He's the only Lego statue that's made Ryan McNaught bleed. So Ryan, when he was fixing his hat, fell off the ladder and like caught it on the bottom of his chin and like smacked his head and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, have a look at that pallet. How we got that stock last week. Have a look at that. Look.
Well, okay, so that's the other. Obviously that's you posted this today, and what there's a lot of Lego nerds and Lego AFOLs out there that want the pristine box, want that immaculate look.
Yeah. Okay, so without going into it too much because there's NDAs involved and all that sort of stuff. So Lego obviously use a third party to ship their products, and they are the ones who pack the pallets and ship it to you. Now, this is how pallets usually come. If Bilsy click, I think it's the right on the photo. Like this is how they usually stack. So as you can see, the heavier ones are on the top and the lighter ones are on the bottom. So you can't, no matter how hard I try, you're not going to get a pristine box. And AFOLs struggle with the fact that they want pristine boxes, and 99% it cannot be done. So it's better for them to actually go to a physical store like ours or anyone else who's local to you and pick up the box you want and get the one you want, because 9 times out of 10, it's not the retailer's fault when it comes a bit scuffed or a bit like creased in the corner. Lego architecture is a major issue because for some reason the boxes always have a weird shine on them and they always get a weird scuffing. And even when they're brand new, you unpack them and they have the scuffing already, and you can't you want to keep the box, but you don't. If you're buying Lego to put it in a box for later, you're buying it for the wrong reasons. Like you're buying it there to build.
Yeah, just build it, chuck the box, who cares?
Yeah, or we do what I do: rip the box on stream, watch everyone go nuts.
Did you see that guy? It was in Oslug, I think he posted. There was a video where he I don't know if it's been taken down, where it goes for like 3 minutes and he's like, "Oh, my box," and he sets it on fire, then runs it over with an army tank, and it's like a Lego box. And he goes, "Oh, it doesn't matter about the boxes. It's actually pretty funny."
Yeah. All right, let me just catch up on a quick few chats. Dan popped in and said, "Hey boys," as well. So hey Dan, hope you're having fun. I think he was Ubering his kids around or something tonight.
Yeah.
It was Christian for Rick. Are you going to be in the office tomorrow?
Mate, where do you think I am right now? This is just, I'll show you, but it's pretty dead because there's nothing in there. I'm in the office right now.
It lives there.
Pretty much, but yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. We open tomorrow at 12, so 12 to 5 tomorrow.
It's not a bad sleeping.
Oh, mate, I don't sleep in. You should know this, Bilsy. I'm not like you. I don't earn streaming dollars.
Oh, please. And while you're at it, make sure you go and send money to my Patreon. And
Everyone sign up to Bilsy's Patreon because Bilsy needs money. Bilsy's in lockdown right now. He needs COVID dollars.
Oh, mate.
Just so in case he gets a positive COVID test, we've got to look after Bilsy.
And someone
hands.
Get onto my only hands. Someone asked if I finished the truck. I've been streaming I remade the Mustang into a truck. It is finished. That'll be on my.
Cool.
It's old 70s model F truck with the big beefy V8.
So did you purchase the instructions from somebody or did you like?
Yeah. No. I paid for them on Rebrickable. Yeah.
So do they have other designs as well or just the pickup truck?
No, that dude's got a pickup truck, a brand new Mustang, a 1950s truck, an actual truck, like a one that pulls trailers.
That's cool.
A Ford GT40. And, when you design stuff like that, you want to give the designer a cut. He's put hard work into it, so support him.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. I like people. There's a few guys that are floating around that do they redesigns Lego sets. I think Boone has done one recently.
Boone
I think it was Boone that did it with the Coliseum. Someone did it with one of them.
Yep, he did the castle.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. Parko, especially if you want stuff shipped, no hope on keeping a good box. Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
But you and I both know, Parko, that some people are very particular with their Lego boxes.
And Parko jumps on his boxes before he sends them.
Well, did you know Parko's the richest guy in Bricklink? He's got Lego money now, mate.
Secrets of next season Lego Masters, mate. You're looking. Rick James knows more secrets than any of the Lego Masters, so PM him. He's the man with the secrets.
You can ask me, but as Andrew would be aware, and Andrew, he knows more than anyone. NDAs are awesome, which means you can't say anything. I can tell you this year I haven't been to the set because of COVID. But they're still filming as far as I'm aware. That's about as much as I can tell you.
There's your biggest mic drop. Me and Bilza haven't been to the set yet either. Oh, COVID stopped us,
Well, if you guys lived in an actual proper city like Melbourne, you might be invited, but you guys live somewhere else. So sad face.
So Rick, when people Bill's place there, for example, when people know you've got a Lego collection like that, they're always like, "Oh, you should open a Lego shop." Did you get that a lot before you opened a shop and just ended up?
When I first started, AFOL used to be a dirty word when I first started 10 years ago, nearly 11 actually. So I started around the same time as the Brickman. So I knew him when he first started in a little one-car garage. Now he's got an empire. Back then, AFOL wasn't as socially acceptable as it is now. So I was a closet collector like most people were. And, I was buying so much that Caroline gave me an ultimatum, make it a job or stop buying the stuff. And then I just obviously made it a job. So we've been lucky. We're lucky in the sense that we've managed to maintain it. There's been a lot of, unfortunately, in the past couple of years, a lot of independent Lego stores have either collapsed or the owner has passed away. You had the guy from Lego, he passed away this year during COVID, unfortunately due to cancer. That's sad. No one wants to see that. And then you had the guy from Toy Corner. He was around for 20 years nearly, and he unfortunately went out of business last year, I think, or the year before. And he was based in Adelaide as well. And then there's a few guys. There's still a guy in Queensland that does it. Bilsy, and Bilsy might know who he is. I forget his name all the time. He's
we know. Don't need to mention him. We know him.
Yeah, I don't. He's an interesting kind of guy. There's a few of them around, but
Bills is actually really close to him. So, but yeah, we don't need to mention him.
Bills is best mate, obviously.
Is it worth the effort? Opening your own store?
Look, no, I'm incredibly lucky. If you have the money behind you and you can do it and you can get permission from Lego, the biggest, hardest hurdle for anyone is getting the permission from Lego. And that's, especially right now, the world's different. We now have Lego stores in Australia, and that's changed. How can I word it? It's changed the way things operate. And, we're lucky. Lego allow us to do what we do. I don't think they would approve AFOLs doing it going further, because I know for a long time Lego, I can't speak for them. I'm not speaking for Lego, but I don't think they would like more AFOLs getting into it, just because as we can all see right now, Lego is so highly sought after, supply and demand, and they need to manage how many stores stock the product. And I think it's awesome they're opening, X amount of Lego stores. That's great for the brand, great for me, great for anyone that likes Lego. But I think it's all about quantity over quality. So you don't want to oversaturate the market and affect the quality of the product.
Mm.
And you can see in some states like Queensland, I think they got 3 Lego stores now. Sydney's got a few. Adelaide just got one. Perth, I think, is next year. I think it will reach a point where I think it's Lego know what they're doing, and I think it will reach a point where there's going to be just enough stores. As soon as you start opening too many, I think it will take away the greatness behind Lego stores.
Mm. And
it'll be good for Ryan because the Brickman's building heaps of stuff. He's building everything for everybody.
Yeah. So, he's got to work out.
Bilsy's streaming from every location. It'd be good for Bilsy. He'd travel around the country.
Something like that.
If Lego shows were a thing this year, and Bilso travels, his displays are insane, so he travels a fair bit too. That was my plan, to set up streams live at every show we could make. You know what I mean? And get to.
Yeah.
See, Lego shows would be awesome, but the biggest, obviously, problem is COVID. But apart from COVID, I think the biggest side to Lego shows is that it's hard for everyone to attend every event, and every event you need to make income. And if you can't make income, if you're traveling all around, we don't all earn, streaming dollars, Bilsy, but if you're all earning streaming dollars like Bilsy, you can afford to travel first class, business class to all these Lego events. You're in New Zealand last year, traveled business class, ate shrimp on the plane, all that sort of stuff. We're not all like that, unfortunately.
I don't know what you've heard about streaming dollars.
Well, we can't all have one of the most viewed Lego videos on YouTube, Andrew, like you.
I don't know what you've heard about YouTube dollars either.
Well, you're doing all right. You live in a mansion.
This is the size of the room. This is it.
If we all have a look at all our screens, I think Bills is doing all right, better than a lot of us, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's his retirement fund. He doesn't believe.
And that's not green screen as well. That's legit proper Lego. That's not just for just show.
Addicted to the plastic crack.
Well, do me a favor, Bills. Just tell everybody what your actual address is, so everyone knows where to visit. So, Bills, just tell us your address, so every AFOL in the country knows where to get the good Lego sets.
2/15 Hogan Court, Pakenham.
Oh, okay, that place. That's where they sell Mega Blocks, though. Wrong place, but anyway.
Fun fact, Rick, I don't know if I told you or you've seen us talk about it, but Bill's house was my backdrop for my backstory for the show.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember when you first came down for Lego Masters, it feels like 20 years ago, but anyway, you were chatting that, oh yeah, I went to these because you had the setup, and I was like, oh yeah, and then I put 2 and 2 together. I still have those Lego bricks you gave me as well, by the way.
The what would you call them? Remnants?
Yeah, challenge bricks maybe.
I tried to find them. I know I took some memories, but I couldn't find them the other day. And I keep G'ing up Bill every time we friggin' stream. He got a hammer. He got a hammer from the studio, and I still don't know how.
Did you really?
I don't know. I think Cheap Jokes gave it to him, to be honest. Because he's
the
only one.
Official Lego Masters hammer, though.
Yeah, it is.
So does that make you feel like that you're pretending to build on TV like everyone else, or?
I've never actually used it. I just got it because I wanted it. So.
Yeah, I tried when the finale last year. I tried to wheel out the winning build too, but I don't think they wanted that to end up at Rick James Briggs for some reason.
What did Dan say? Anyone only making money is the man we all promote sales for by streaming and making videos. Between the bricks, how much do you think he makes? Oh, we need a Legoland in Australia. Technically, we have a Legoland here. It's down in Melbourne.
So I know the story behind this.
I agree.
We won't at the moment. So Legoland as a whole, obviously, we've got COVID right now and no one's making money. Yeah. But Legoland chain as a whole has been an interesting structure now that Lego re-owns it. It's going to be awesome. But as soon as a country gets a Legoland Discovery Centre first, they're taken away for getting a Legoland. There was rumours we were going to get one in Queensland. For a long time, there was rumours Dreamworld was going to be converted over. But that was being brought out by Lego. So things could change. And then, also location, we're in a weird spot. We don't have enough population to justify, a $20 million theme park.
Yeah, it won't happen.
Like it might happen in the future, but it all depends, I guess, what happens with Dreamworld. So if Dreamworld, unfortunately, if it sells or whatever, but there's rumors Disney were going to buy it. There's been all sorts of crazy rumors.
Dreamworld have sold too much land now for Disney to be interested.
Yeah, because originally they wanted it because Dreamworld owned all that. You know what? You guys obviously live in Queensland. You know how they have all that massive land behind them?
Oh, dude,
that was what they wanted.
Days behind.
Dude, they wanted it so much, but obviously they're selling it off, so it doesn't work now.
So much land, it's now a major shopping centre. So,
and in half council owned too. So,
but Arden and Merlin are in close contact, so never say never. So,
yeah, well, we'll see. I think too it depends. Their contract clicks over because they can't make any real big decisions for a while. So I think it's 2 years they have to wait before they can make a decision.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But I don't know if opening a Legoland in Queensland's the right place for it.
Probably not.
Well, look at the Malaysian one. If you ever visit the Malaysian one, it's not doing so flash. So,
Dude, we talked about this when we had the theme on the stream about Legoland Park. Me and Bill went to the Japan one last year, 2 years ago. Was it last year? 2 years. Anyway.
Last year.
Yeah. And you got to travel on a train for like a solid hour to the middle of a port. Like you're literally going to the middle of the docks. And that's where it's not near towns. It's not near a nice picturesque beach or nothing. Like
you usually get. Sorry.
Which kind of times our theme parks up here were in the middle of nowhere too.
True.
Now they're surrounded by suburbia. But yeah, Japan.
Yeah, but
was
the old Merlin business model. So let's use Dubai for example. Sorry, choking on a Lego brick. Dubai is a fine example where they were given the theme park. So the theme park was built by Dubai Council or whatever it is over there, and it was given to Merlin to run. So that's their whole thing usually used to be. So the one in Japan was built by the Japanese government. So I think it all depends on like kickbacks and, there's all sorts of crazy stuff that gets involved.
Non-Lego talk.
Malaysia as well. It was kicked back by the Malaysian government. And it's very hard to get to. If you go and stay in Singapore and travel to Singapore and go to the Malaysian Legoland, you can spend hours trying to cross the border.
Really?
Yeah, it can be quite difficult. So I've been there a couple of times, and one time straight across, another time 2.5 hours to get through customs.
Because it's not really easy to get from the Malaysia side, right? You can't. Traveling wise, it'd be too.
It's very hard to get back into Singapore. Singapore is it's a very tight knit bubble. It's like Queensland with COVID going on. You have to prove everything across the border. So getting into Malaysia is fine, but getting back into Singapore is not necessarily easy.
Legolands are for kids anyway. So once you've been to one, they're all the same, right? Technically,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Uniqueness or exclusivities.
The Japan one would be different, though. Was the Japan one crazy?
The theme park was very kids built, same like California would be, but the shop was very, very cool and very different.
Although Joe went on the Nexo night roller coaster and we lost him for about 6 hours. There was no one in the queue and he just went round and around for 6 hours while me and Bilsy went and did the factory tour and all the shops. And he was just going round and round on the Nexo night coaster.
Well, the Germany one has the best pick-a-brick. Germany would be the best park out of a lot of them. Germany has like a room, a warehouse, and it's so full of loose parts, you can just get them by the bucket and you can buy every animal known to man singly. It's probably the best setup. Much better than Billings. Billings a little bit too small, but I think they're expanding it now.
Yeah, far out.
And California is by the element, whereas Japan and Windsor are by the colour.
Yes.
Yeah. So Windsor's really cool as well. Obviously, you've been. Windsor's pretty decent. I think it being an old, I think it was an old zoo from memory. I think being an old zoo.
I think it was a zoo, yeah.
Florida's good. Florida has a good setup.
We were going to go to Florida this year.
Yeah, we were going to Florida, but COVID had other plans. So, but that's
but
all right.
you would have had, you should have come with Rick James, Bilsy. You wouldn't have to pay to get him, mate. You got to, you actually be with someone that's actually famous that will get you in for free.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to use the Rick James card when we go to the new store.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was meant to open this year. Obviously, that's not happening now.
But when it does, we're with James, bitch.
After we left, so we'll that's right.
Yeah,
By
but
the
how
time-
hard has it been, right? Like, if you're a Lego Masters winner, like season 2, but if you're an American Lego Masters winner, the whole thing was you're going to be displayed at New York Legoland, and it hasn't even opened yet.
It's at Los Angeles. They put it to California. It's in the California retail store.
All 3 builds?
Nah, the top two.
California makes sense because they've got that whole upstairs area
Yeah,
that is kind of useless. So you could put builds up there permanently.
yeah, it's probably where it is.
Well, they could have put it.
What?
They could have put it in the Lego Movie section that they had for years. That was there, but that's gone now.
I love that section, man. That was my favorite when I went to that one. That was the best part. I've got a retail question for you, Rick. So
Can I answer it? Probably not. Let's go.
When is Series 1 coming? Series 21 coming in? Is that the question?
No. Over the years, right?
Message me again about it, Andrew, and I'm going to sell you no Series 21.
Sell it to
Go,
me for
Bilsy, sorry.
and I'll double the price back to Andrew for you.
Yeah,
as long as you've had your retail shop, what's been for you, your opinion, the biggest flop and the biggest win as a theme or a set?
See, the biggest problem is with that question, it's kind of a loaded question, right? Because every theme, if it's a new one, for example, so like let's use Nexo Nights as an example, it always kicks off slow because kids don't understand it. Or it might be the designs behind it or the show they're using is overly complicated like Chima was, and kids get confused. But then by the second or third run, like you look at like Nexo Nights, by the end, it was pumping. But they had to retire it because, they made the decision it was going to retire. And then you look at like Hidden Side as well. Hidden Side had good elements behind it, good design. But for some reason, the box art, whoever designed the box art,
Bad sets.
like you looked at the front of the box and like in our store and most retail stores, we put them around backwards so you could see what the set was.
Exactly.
Like by the end of it was awesome. So like I think Chima could have been a lot bigger than what it was, but it kind of flopped because I don't think kids want to see animals fighting animals. I think that's a bit weird. Like, like a bit unrealistic too.
What's been one of your biggest either single sets or themes that you've stocked and gone, oh crap, man, that sold 10 times quicker than I thought it ever would?
That guy right there.
Really?
We sold something like 2,000 of that main Minion Lego set.
Damn.
There's still a third or fourth one to be released that hasn't come out yet.
Well, they're releasing, so the original run was meant to be more sets, obviously, because it was tied with the movie without going into too much, but they're re-releasing those next year whenever the movie decides to get released. Yeah. But I think the biggest problem is with any toy, and, Lego included, but any toy that's tied to a movie right now, like, it's really hard to sell a product that's tied to a movie unless it's an existing movie because no one's going to the cinemas, majority worldwide, besides, Australia can, but the rest of the world can't. And streaming is such a big deal. You're not forcing it in the kid's face.
Okay.
So
on that question, before you jump to the next question, what about Wonder Woman 84? That obviously got released before the movie. How's that gone?
The set's done okay. Like, it hasn't been and the problem is I think it's really hard from a designer's point of view when you release one Lego set. Listen, Mel, they're not going to release ABC Lego or just you got your Sesame Street. You don't need anything else, right? Just no Gumby. We don't need it. But I think too, Wonder Woman, the biggest downside, they could have released more Lego sets. I struggle with the fact when they release one. Like you look at Black Widow, one set. Like I would have preferred more sets because with every other movie they drop like 5 sets.
Yeah.
But there's going to be reasons behind it, something that we don't understand and someone at a desk understands.
With Wonder Woman too, again, I mean, I know the movie delay would have hurt it, but terrible box art.
I don't understand. I don't know if it's a new, I've asked Lego a couple of times and I think, it's hard that one we're in Australia and it's so far from the mothership. I think too, it's hard from a retailer's perspective to sell a product if the box art doesn't show the product. And Hidden Side was a fine example of that because you got to remember not every store is going to have a Rick. Not every store is going to be a Lego store like Elsin or Dreamworld. They're not going to have the girl or the guy or the kid or whatever at the counter that knows about Lego that can sell the product.
Yeah.
And I think the key to a good product selling is any product in any environment is to make the packaging foolproof so people go, yep, I know that's a minifigure. I'm getting that. But as soon as you put that in front of it, people go, "Oh, am I getting that and that?" And the kid that works at Big W, Kmart, Target, whoever, one doesn't have the time and is not going to explain it to the person, so then the product sits there. I think that's the biggest downside.
But then you look at the flip
Because
side of that. You look at the black or the adult release sets at the moment. You know, the Colosseum, the Haunted House, all the black box sets, and you're seeing exactly and everything you get, and nothing else.
Yeah, I think too. I don't know much about design and packaging because obviously that's my job, but I guess it's a hard decision to make from obviously a Lego designer or an artist. What's the focal point of the set? And you're always going to have people that are going to ask, is that the set? You're always going to have a confusion among anybody that's buying Lego that's not for themselves.
Yeah, okay.
Especially when it's like, if you're buying, if you're the grandmother who only buys one big present a year for your grandson that's a train, if you put all sorts of crazy stuff in the background, the grandmother needs to know that she's only getting the train, but then you need to put stuff in the background because Colosseum's a fine example. You look at the set, but the set doesn't look very exciting because it just looks like the set.
Yeah.
So there's no, other stuff behind it, and I guess from a Lego perspective, any product perspective, in fact, is that it's hard to be able to package a product perfectly, but they're always going to be changed because it could have been a printing decision. Ink could have been more expensive to do different colors. There's all sorts of, factors. It's like speaking to a Lego designer, they will tell you like, if they include that, the set has to go up X amount of price. But then if they change the packaging, is the price of the set going to have to go up? So I guess it's that factor is in anyway. I don't know.
It does. It makes sense. Don't forget, guys in the chat as well. If you do have a question for Rick, whether it was to do with Lego shops, and his Lego online, don't forget he's got a big website online too. Or
just to announce everybody, yes, I understand. I got a shiny head. No, I can't fix it. So let's get that question out of the way straight away. I know about the glare. I'm sorry.
There's no Instagram filters here.
No.
What's Rick's favorite set that he owns? There you go, from Steve. Oh, g'day, Steve, by the way.
Oh, hey, Steve. That's a good question.
What's the rarest set you own?
The rarest set I own, if you wait 2 seconds, I can go get it. It's in the office.
Go.
I have to walk down the other end. Hang on.
Well, wait. Bills is going to tell us all about. I got nothing.
Andrew can tell us all about what's the 1st of January drop? What's big that's dropping other than the modular?
Well, you've got all those new city sets with those new road plates, which people are actually surprisingly excited about. An Invisible Cup. How'd you do that? You've got a few Marvel sets coming out, so those new, what do you call them, like mini mech situations, bunch of Spider-Man.
3 new mini mechs, Miles Morales, Captain America, and Thor, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of Spider-Man, so he's got like a giant four-wheel drive situation, monster truck.
Yep, that's right.
And then Mario, second wave of Mario is coming out.
Talking about Mario, so I'm still trying to. I had a bit of a hiccup, a speed hump, you could call it, on bloody Facebook Marketplace, where call a kettle black. I got ripped off. I was trying to buy a starter set a bit cheaper than it was retail, but because now I'm getting recommended all these Mario sets, Mario Lego popping up on Facebook Marketplace. Dude, people are selling all the expansion packs for like $5, $10, $15, like cheap as. Clearly no one's liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's going to tank. Like Monkey Kick, they're all 50% off at Target now. They used to be more exclusive.
Hang on.
We had Aussie, dude. We had we talked about we showed all the photos last episode or 2 episodes ago about that.
New roads, yeah, they're coming thick and fast.
Yeah.
And I have no intention of changing over to them.
No, hang on, I've got one here.
Oh,
no, it's away. Oh, hey, good one.
Was that the gift one or the Lego house set?
I think so. I have a few of them. So like, this is the. There we go.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's my favorite, probably the rarest one. And then there's this thing.
Hold on a sec. Andrew, question for you.
Yeah. We are. We've got episode 1 almost ready. We're just waiting for some better pictures.
And Bruce, train. Oh, Bruce is our train nerd. Oh, you got the Nutcracker. We talked about that last episode. That was the employee gift for, I think, 2018.
Yeah.
2018, 2017.
Something like that, yeah.
What
What
the
a
40th? They did like the 40th anniversary of Technic. They used a lot of Technic.
Ah.
Would you like to swap it for a signature?
No, I'm good. But the box comes like that. Look, see?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, let me blow you up. Go again. Let me just blow you up.
So you can see.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Trying to break it. Oh, there we go. And then the box front looks like that.
Man, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have a couple of the employee gifts. Stuff like this year's one, the elf one was cool.
Cheap Jokes gets them. Ask him.
Yeah.
I've only got 3. I've only got the last 3 years worth.
Only.
Oh, I've only got the last 3. I've got 10 of each, but I've got
They sent
the
me
last
that
3.
instead. They sent me trolls instead. So
That's almost like a Don't Come Monday letter.
That's right.
That was a gift in itself, Andrew, getting a Trolls Lego set.
Did you see the newest Christmas gift? Yeah, Rowan, that's the one we're talking about. The 4 elves building the presents.
Yeah, mine is stuck at customs. But anyway,
no.
You'll get it by Easter.
What happens when you get stuff from the Netherlands?
well,
Aussie Wheels release date for the race, 1st of January, I think.
First of Jan, I think it hits retail at different phases. So a lot of people don't realize that, obviously Lego stores are priority, and that's fine because that's the way the world works. But other retail stores will get it anywhere from, I think, the 10th of Jan to the end of Jan.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of
out in different sets too. So you'll be able to buy them separately, and then some of the creator sets will have portions of roads. Some of the city sets will have portions of roads. So over the next 12 months.
Look at Bilsy. It's like he likes Lego and he understands the product. This is awesome.
If you get all of the new city sets, there's 11 of the Square Street base plates in total.
Yeah.
And I think it's 4 of the half-size ones.
But
they don't sell like there's no curves in this lot, is there?
No curves.
No. Do you reckon
the holes come up with the idea for them and then they'll release the curves?
Yeah.
I have no comment on what Lego does. That's fine.
So, say for instance, like say Bill's, all right, big mega city, and I know he's not going to change it. Do you reckon many people are going to take out their already road system and replace it with this? I can't see it happening.
I think it will eventually when you're forced to, when you're at a Brickvention paying $50 for a base plate. I think you will be forced to, like how all the train guys. Well, you just look at 9 Volt. 9 Volt's a fine example. They're forced to change because you have to change because, we don't all earn, streaming money. So we can't afford $300 for a straight track of 9 Volt. So, I think you get.
Buy them though.
Well, I sold my lot to a customer because, it is what it is. But, I think, too, you'd be forced to do it. And I think once you've done it and everything's changed, I think it's worth it.
So would you stock up on base plates now if you're an avid reseller to flip them in a few years?
If Lego let me know they were going to change it about 4 months ago, I would have ordered everything I had, but I didn't know. So, sad face for me.
It's funny you say that, Andrew, because I have noticed. No, Kmart have been wiped out of road plates for ages.
Really?
Yeah, we all have. So COVID's a big force of it. I think depending where they make them, Mexico's having real problems. The Mexican factory's having shocking problems with COVID, and China's still dealing with whatever they're dealing with, and Europe now is in a really bad place. So that's going to affect Lego for a while. And I think
that one's for you, Rick. You be able to answer that best.
No comment.
All right. So you can probably.
I can comfortably tell you, Speed Champions is still around.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what's coming out later in the year because I'm not allowed to. But
there is.
That's a yes.
No, I don't know. Yes. I just work here.
Is it up to you for your store? Is it your call to stop displaying certain sets, or do you have to or even on top of that, 2 questions? Can you stop selling a set when you feel like it? Say, you're over the Monkey Ninja Kid, whatever it is. You don't want to sell that anymore. You pull that off, or can you say no to certain sets, or do you have to buy everything Lego give you?
I got to answer it in a different way because one, it's an NDA problem, right? So like, you can order whatever you like. That's pretty much as lot I can tell you. Like, you can't. There's certain things you can't, because if you want to like any good company, if you want to represent Lego as a brand, you're going to want to stock everything, right? Now, Monkey Kid, it's a shame we didn't get them when they first released, because we would have liked to have them. They are coming later for us. I think it's March, and there'll be some new stuff as well. But, you know, like, I guess it's a hard balance for them that, especially something like Monkey Kid, I guess Lego Australia or Lego Worldwide don't know the market. And it's hard pushing a new brand that people don't really understand.
Yeah, okay.
And if it's tied to a cartoon, especially if it's Netflix or something like that, not every parent can afford every streaming service on the planet.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, you know, like, and you guys would know because, mate, I don't know, Bills has got kids, Andrew's got none that we know of, but if Andrew had kids, it'd be the same. Like, you know, I think it's a fine balance, right? And I think tying any product to a certain genre is dangerous. Like, because
perfect example. Are you still selling the Bugatti?
Yeah, so we still got them in stock.
See, and that's your call, obviously, because you know you can keep moving them. Or
I think too, it's a big call on when you order. So I think, like, depending on when you get your order in, what Lego have in stock, and you know, we obviously order a lot, so you can manage what you order. But I think too, you look at the Lamborghini, we can't get stock. Like, we've been ordering, and they just don't have the stock.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's your call for what you want to hold, type of thing. Like, you're not like a retail store, like say Maya, you have to pull it because that's just time's up.
No, I think too, Maya and Big W, Kmart, Target have X amount of selling space, and that's all they can fit.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and you know, they're selling whatever other junk they're selling. So, you know, they might want to put mega blocks, so they have to scale it back, or they want to make it more like. With me, because I'm dedicated to Lego, I think I've got the space, and I'm big on, if it's available to order, I'm going to order it, because there's always going to be that one kid that's like, "Hey, do you have, I don't know, that rocket?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, here." Like, but then again, you can miss the run. So I don't know if we're getting the Saturn V again. So we got allocated X amount in November or December, and we sold out, and we can't get more. So I don't know if it's coming back, but that sort of stuff we generally know about March-ish. They sort of tell us what's going on. But I think COVID's a big driver, right? So if they can't make X amount of sets,
it is what it is. Yeah,
it is. You know,
only a limited re-release, I thought.
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to tell. Maybe it could have been a test run to see how well they sold, and if they sell well, they'll bring it back.
Yeah, because it's the same as Model, where they were both set for a limited rerun.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think too, you look at like modulars as a fine example. Modulars a hard one because I don't know how they work it out, but you see the pet shop was out for ages because it was like the average modular, so it was stuck around everywhere for ages. But then you had the town hall that sold out beforehand. So how do you know?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know what's going to sell? You know, Sesame Street could be pumping right now, but then next year it could be not. So it's like this weird kind of balance, I guess, especially for Lego, because Lego are in the business of making money and they want to make X amount of Lego sets. So how many sets are they going to allow to stay in their production run? Because you can't have 50,000 different Lego sets. No. Like, we all would like Lego sets to stick around, but everything has to have an expiry date to make room.
On top of that, what country gets what allocation?
That's what, I don't know how they figure it out. I guess it works on sales. I know China's massive at the moment. You can see Lego release like their financials every year, and you can see where their biggest growth is, and China's killing it. So, you know, China would be getting the majority. Any smart businessman would be forwarding all their product to the country that sells the most, right? Like, and they're aiming to open 1,000 Lego stores or something there in the next couple of years. So they're pumping over there. Yeah, it's massive over there, dude. It's awesome. Like, it's good for the brand because we get, you know, Lego will always be around. And, you know, people who like Lego, like Bilsy, as you could probably see in the background, he's got a fair few Lego sets there. So, you know, it's good for people like him and people that love the brand that's going to stick around.
No, Bilsy loves China. They're all Lippin sets.
Well, I did see LOL bricks today in one of the stores that I visited today on my travels for our staff party. I was like, oh, what's that? And they make like weird Lego compatible bricks, which they were weird. They had like an ice cream shop or something, and it looked like a modular. It looked pretty cool, but you know, it's not Lego. So
yeah. Wow.
People want to know: is there a theme you'd love to see come back?
Monorail,
mate. Yeah. You and everyone else. We need
monorail back. I don't know. Like, there's obviously a reason, but like, if you look at the new city, it's designed for monorail. Like, it's all designed for it.
Mate, could be something, you know, read between the lines there, people. Rick knows. Alex says, what's the approximate time frame between you ordering and coming in and available? Well, I think like you said, Ollie, that depends on. I mean, for yourself, it's going to be different to a Monster store to everyone's different, aren't they?
No, so COVID is a big talking point for everybody. But COVID's changed everything. So we can order this week and not get it for 5 weeks. I think it depends on when there's stock. I think when the stock arrives, and any business right now and anybody who's importing and exporting, and you can see Kmart is a fine example of that. You walk into their stores and they've got nothing. And that's mismanagement on how they're bringing in any product because they should have really kept the product flowing. But, things have changed. And I think Lego's not struggling. I think it's a hard balancing act to get things right, especially now. The world's changed. Lego's bigger than ever. But if Lego bring in too much product, they're going to be stuck with it next year. So it's sort of this, like, where do you draw the line? It's hard, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, not just COVID, like just in general with shops like, you're getting stronger and all the ones popping up here. Like you go, say, back before Lego Masters come out. Bill, how long would it take us? How long you reckon for a lug bolt? 6 to 9 months?
Yeah, about 9 months.
About 9 months, right? So, for most that know lug bulk, you can order direct if you're in a club, etc., from Lego. Man, now you've got, certain stores selling boxes of Pick a Brick War. You can get in 6 weeks, or maybe not because of COVID, but you get me, like the speed is like insanely quick now.
Well, and you got to remember certain stores that stock, the Lego stores right now, like there's heaps of them. There's obviously a lot of loose brick in the country now than there was a few years ago. You see, so it's all supply and demand. The more Lego stores we get is good for everybody because then there's more loose brick in the country. But Absolutely. Then again, it might be not the right brick that you want. Like, so it's all this kind of, because we're all Lego stores are treated the same. So every Lego store in the world has the same pick brick because that's whatever allocation they have.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess it's like managing, I guess. And I think maybe because America's not doing so flash, maybe we're getting more loose Lego. Like there'd be all this sort of negotiation going on in the background.
Yeah.
Another question. Obviously, sorry, Bill, go.
You're saying all the stores have the same pick a brick. They do, but not at the same time because it bases on their sell rate.
Well, and I think too, it bases on how close you are to a factory. So we have a really.
It does, but also it depends on their original stock levels. Like we've got 2 Lego stores up here that we've had for quite some time now, but then you've got newer stores that have opened in Melbourne and Sydney and Newcastle that they'll have elements on their pick a brick wall that we won't get here for quite some time because our stores here might still have 20 boxes of one element left.
And two, you got to look at the bigger picture too, right? So say for the company owns Lego stores, managing loose brick has always been a difficult product to manage. And, you can see that on lego.com. It's always in a stock, out of stock, I think too, anyone who has to do the ordering for that, and me included, it's a really hard mix of trying to find the right elements that are going to sell. And I think too, depending on if right now, there's no Lego events in the world. I think before a Lego event, sales drive up heaps because you've got people building for Brickvention or Bruce Bricks, or, you got Brick Expo in Canberra and Sid Bricks and all this sort of stuff. I think because there's no Lego shows at the moment, I think that's why the sell rate is different. Because now you're not building for everyone, you're building for yourself. And, most Lego builders want to build to show off, and right now they can't. Like Instagram can only do so much, right? Where at a Lego show, you're getting the kids going, oh, that's awesome. Or you're getting the dads, oh, look at that, whatever it is, oh, that's awesome. Look how he's done that. Well, you can't. We're probably in this country, at least, you're not going to see it until 2022, at least.
And me and Bill have talked about this. You imagine when the next Brickvention, the next, Brick Expo, the next half-decent big show opens, it's going to get pumped Australia-wide, no matter what. It's going
to make a stupid amount of money, and I think too, you're going to have Lego fans who have refused to travel for a long time because every Lego fandom has its issues and everyone's clashing in some sort of way. I think you're going to get the Lego community some sort of come back together and do it for the greater cause instead of just being divided all the time. 100%. And you're going to get some awesome builders that come from Perth. Dave and G might finally get on an aeroplane and pull their finger out and fly to Melbourne for a change instead of relying on us to fly them down. He might come down. But, then you've got the winners from Lego Masters. They might come down. There's all this sort of – I think it will sort of unite people to be back together, but I think that depends on how every state manages COVID. And I think Victoria right now is interesting to see because we just had Boxing Day test. They had 35,000 people all day there or something. If we can pull that off, why can't we pull off a Lego event? Like, there's things that we can sort of fix. You know, with the check-in, the QR codes, there's ways to get around it. It's just, I think no big event wants to put in the effort to try and make it work.
Yeah. I got another man. We can go for hours. I got another retail question for you.
Do I want to answer it though? Maybe you should get Bills to ask me. Bills has got the prettier face.
It's green screen, trust me. So obviously your store is different to a lockdown Lego store, and you've got the extra stuff that works, the third party stuff that works with Lego. You know, you got your arms, you've got your lights, you've got the bits and pieces. How do you choose? So obviously, I'm guessing you must get hit up by a different brand, all different brands that sell a million different things to work with Lego.
So our business has grown, and I'm grateful for that. But part of my job is managing, and I'm not pulling anyone's leg. We get 150 emails a week asking about different products.
Yeah.
So we have an actual dedicated room where I go through and I check the products. Most of them are rubbish because, everyone wants to sell something. Some of them are good and some people are still learning. The biggest, hardest decision is just because it's good, it doesn't mean it's going to sell in our market. So we'll use Brick Arms as an example. We're obviously Australia's reseller and we're lucky to do that. Some products that they sell in America won't sell here because our society wasn't driven by weapons. We're not big on war. We don't really talk about it. Where certain products like Star Wars will sell like crazy. So I think it's a hard mix to try and find the right product because not every country is the same. So like we've got the Lego bag license in Australia and it does quite well. But then again, it's on the higher price side. So how many do you bring in? Because you don't want to get stuck with them. But then again, you look at Brick Bracket. Brick Bracket's an amazing product and I think it has massive appeal, but everything comes down to price. You need to find the perfect price point where Lightmer Bricks has that interesting price point where it's expensive, but it's good quality. So they can sort of like sell it at a certain thing. But then you've got other lighting companies that do their thing and they do quite well. But I think too, the biggest thing for us is always testing the market. And there's been like in the last year, we've had 100 different products that haven't sold. And you just sort of like, well, and it's sad because you don't like to tell the creator of something that it doesn't sell. But right now, money's a big factor. I think if we had Lego events, we'd bring in a lot of different Lego products, like Lego associated products.
Yeah.
You're just not seeing the core market come through your door to justify whatever it is. Like there was a company that was going to come out that sells like these things, but there's guys on Instagram that doing 3D printing, but there was a guy that was going to do the resin molds and make them resin. But no one's going to pay $300 for that.
No.
You see what I mean? Like, and you saw that with the Lego wooden figure. That's $180, 180 Australian anyway.
And they're still in stores.
That's a hard sell for a country that's used to getting something 20% off at a big retailer.
Yeah.
Like, I think, and like certain products are going to be harder to sell than others. And I think, like, we've got some products I need to go through now, and I already know just looking at the packaging that they're not good. Because a big thing is retail appeal, right? So you can imagine you could stock those and how awesome that would be on the shelf, right?
Mm.
Like anyone would see that and want that straight away because the appeal is awesome, the graphics cool, but then you get a product, and I'll use this generic baby wipes as an example. Imagine a Lego product that was plain white and had nothing on it. Like it needs to grab the kids' attention. Like where you look at these and these never came to Australia.
Oh, that's cool. I've never even seen that.
Yeah, so they never came to Australia because retailers refused to stock them. And now the company doesn't exist anymore.
Huh.
Yeah.
You see? So it's like, and then you look at like.
You keep saying like, obviously the kids and that. So you still see that the kids are a bigger pool than the adults buying the Lego at the moment?
Well, adults are a big factor, but kids are the ones that make the buying decision. So like, you look at that. That never came to Australia.
Hold on, let
That's
me blow
Darth Vader. That's a Darth Vader Lego storage head.
Oh, cool.
Never came to Australia because the retailers didn't want it.
And it'll be on eBay for $20 tonight if people are interested.
But I think too, like Lego is about the kids, and the biggest driver is the kids and adults buy a lot. But I think kids are the ultimate decision makers, and Bill's kid would be like, if Bill's is in a Lego store buying something for himself, pretending it's for the kids, but buying it for himself, his kids are going to sway his decision more than anything else. And he knows that when he goes to a shop, if he's looking at Lego for his kids, they're the ones making the decision. Even though if you wanted the new module, they might want to train. It's always the kids that are the pusher.
Okay.
And I think AFOL struggle with the fact that most of the packaging is designed for kids. because kids are the ones that buy the products, like, because that's what it's about. Bills is all for him, but but the general population, it's all how striking the product's going to be for the kid.
No, well, see, I think using Bilzer and his kids is a bad example. Bilzer gets what he wants. No one listens to him.
Well, but the general, like, it's hard. And I think, AFOLs have been the best thing that could happen to any product, because no company has like an adult following like Lego does. Like, Lego is very incredibly lucky that they have an adult who's willing to drop $700,000, $800,000, $1,300 on a Lego set.
Yeah.
Where you can't see Hasbro pulling that off. Like, they just have that secret sauce, I guess, that's managed to pull it all off.
And it's worked for him.
Well, it works now. You see, like, they're bringing out some awesome sets. Some not so awesome, some awesome. Like,
and you know what? That works across the board. I don't see a Hasbro live streaming, on Twitch. I don't see Hasbro only shops.
Where, see, that's the thing where I think in, like, Hasbro have the ability to pull off something special, but they don't, where Lego's at least investing in their adult fan community. Yeah. Like, they have the whole range is dedicated to adults now. You don't get many toys that are like adults only.
No, and
like, which toy do you know that's like adults only?
That the new adult box art is sexy.
Well, it's got the appeal, right? And it makes you feel like, I remember 12 years ago where you would walk into a toy section and people would look at you weird because you're feeling up Series 1 collectible minifigures. They're like, is this guy trying to pocket them? It's like, no, I just like Lego. Like, where now it's acceptable. Like, we're lucky. Like, I can do what I want. Bilsy can stream. Andrew's pretty much doing social media full time. Bills has got like a room full of Lego and his wife lets him do it. So, like,
and then you nailed it too. You're not walking into a shop now who's watching me fill out this Series 1 bag. You're walking out with that $1,300 Star Wars, whatever it is, mate. Look at me, Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, back in the day, people would think you were stealing because, when collectible minifigs first came out, people would be like, what's this weird dude doing filling out this packet? Like, where now you can walk in and feel comfortable and not feel ashamed that you collect Lego because, Series 1 Lego Masters in Australia is a fine example. They made it acceptable for you to buy a Lego set.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And obviously it's not Bilsy who made it happen, but all the other contestants were awesome, so that's fine.
And on that note, people, go and visit Rick's website. He has a very awesome website. It is imrickjamesbricks.com.au. I've put it in the chat on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. We're way past our time, more than normal, but it was the last show. And Rick, you have been definitely entertaining. And I've been watching the numbers on my other screen, and it's our biggest show yet. We finished the year with you.
So just for you guys on that note, just remember, I'm famous. That's what's made the stream. If it wasn't for me, the views would be down.
And let's make sure we'll tell Dan that it didn't go that well tonight, just so he doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, but maybe we got more viewers because there's no one from New Zealand on the stream.
Oh, maybe. All right, and yeah, there's a few of them say goodbye. Thanks, Steve.
Two Queenslanders equal a New Zealander, though.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. Billsy's all right. Like, he's okay. Bills is where it's at. He's the one that has the true Lego collection.
I'm blaming I'm blaming quarantine. I'm in quarantine, so I'm passing. I'm using.
It's sending Bilsy a little bit crazy, so we have to keep him entertained this last hour.
If any bigger, the reflection will blind me.
Mate, the reflection's already blinded you, mate. Look at that.
Dan, look, Dan's in the chat. I can see the numbers. Bilsy's lying. How funny. Well, I don't think you've been in a stream where we've tapped 35 viewers at once, Dan.
Oh, come on.
I agree. Go Queenslanders. All right, people. We'll talk in the new year. Have a good New Year's, and